Former Vice President Atiku has urged the National Assembly to amend the Constitution for a 6-year single term for the President and governors. Atiku, who conveyed his messages to the lawmakers through a memorandum to the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review, also proposed rotating the presidency between the North and South, while also calling for a raise in the minimum educational qualification for candidates to an ordinary national diploma and giving political parties more power in candidate selection. The former VP has remained consistent in his call for a single tenure since his days as vice president to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Arise news analyst Dayo Sobowale now joins us for a chat on the memorandum written to the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review by former Vice President Atiku seeking 6-year term rotational presidency for the president and how this call could impact on effective governance in Nigeria. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure of being here, Suja.
Of course. Now, given Nigeria's complex ethnic and regional dynamics, how might a constitutionally mandated rotational presidency affect political alignments and coalition building across the country?
He's making a proposal. You are already implementing the proposal.
I'm asking you a question.
No, yes, you are already implementing it. You see, the topic is about what Atiku said, that we should extend tenure to 6 years. That is the topic, and the impact of that on the political system. That is what we should be discussing. Well, he has said it several times, but he has been a beneficiary of the 4-year term. So in a position to know. But you see, I will just use something that happened just now, we saw now. In Mexico, they inaugurated a president for a 6-year term. They too amended their constitution. The lady is succeeding somebody from her party who actually picked her. And in the cabinet, President Claudia Sheinbaum is about to have the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister in charge of Security. They are all from the cabinet of our predecessor, who is living. So long terms make for one-party states. So I don't buy it. See, they say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is Mexico. But look at even Nigeria. The present president is from the same party as the previous president. That's 8 years plus his own 4. And you see, the Nigerian situation in terms of succession is different because the previous president did not want this successor to take over from him. That was how the cry of Emilokon came out, which is a sign of defiance. And the mood of the nation now is that of defiance, as you can see, and it's working even against the president because people are saying, "Giving power," this means you're hungry. But the important thing is that tenure elongation creates a romance between the party in power and tenacity of office. They do not want to leave. And I don't think that is good for a democracy. A good democracy should be one in which you serve your term and you quit. The US is 2 terms, they leave. In our previous constitution, it was 5-year term under parliamentary democracy. But you see, it was succession. After our first 5 years, the election that followed, and the attempt by the party in power to eliminate the opposition that led to the military coup of 1966. The military coup led to the Civil War. And we have heard about several constitutions there. Although right now we are running a unitary system, even though we say we have a federal constitution. But my take here is that elongation of tenure makes for one-party states, and it's not good for democracy. Let's leave it at that.
All right. Well, so the tenure was just one part of his proposal. Some of the other aspects that we'd like to look at, of course, the rotation of the presidency around the 6 geopolitical zones, which also is being received with mixed feelings. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I'm suspicious of that too. You see, before you register a political party in Nigeria, you must have representation in 2/3 of the states of the federation. So that makes you a national party. So if you have that, and if in a federation you have political competition, there is no need for geopolitical assignment. There is no such need. Because what you discover, and he even said that power should rotate between north and south. That is, you have been doing that, and that has led us to where we are today. At a stage, it was felt that the North has held power for too long, and that it should be the turn of the South. That was why Obasanjo came in. And in trying to balance you, when Obasanjo was going, he picked somebody to succeed him, who he knew was not well, and who died in office, and that created a vacancy for the person who succeeded him. You get me? So we cannot be tweaking our democracy or changing the goalposts when we are playing a game. If there is political competition, if the Constitution says that all parties must have representation on 2/3 of hand, that's nationalistic enough. Then let's have a fair playing field. It does not matter where the person comes from. It does not matter. So let's have fair competition, level playing field. I don't believe in rotational governance. That's gotten us nowhere. But let the electorate decide. Let the electorate decide. And thank God there's limitation for 2 terms or 4 years. Let the electorate decide.
All right, Mr. Sobowale. So far, you seem to be opposed to most of what Atiku has recommended. You said elongated tenure leads to one-party state.
I agree with
when
you.
it comes to that's fine. When it comes to rotational aspect, you're suspicious of that as well.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, since you're
I'm
saying
giving my reasons.
I'm not disputing that. I'm using that as a premise. So based on your opinion and your stance as a member of the electorate, if you were given the opportunity to make amends to our politics, our democracy as it is, since things are clearly not working, what would your reform look like?
How would I answer that? I cannot single-handedly change the Constitution, change the political platform on which we do things. I can only advocate that we follow our Constitution. Our Constitution is well fitted for the sort of republic we run. It's a federal Constitution. Some elements of it, from what I've said so far, you should see, should be eliminated at the federal character. This North-South discrimination, I call it discrimination. If you run a federation, let it be a federation of free, equal, competing units, as a federation should be run. And as some countries have done it successfully. But if you do this sort of thing, you'll be going towards one-party states like China or Russia. I will even give you an example of Russia. Putin, yes? The Russians were not holding elections before. But before, because of this American pressure, Putin served 2 terms. Then he amended the Constitution. He was prime minister for 4 years before he came back. And it was because the Americans under Obama then made life difficult for him, that he could not almost return as president. When they put Medvedev to act for him, it was that has caused the problem that is on the ground and the war in Ukraine up to today. And it's going to be there, I think, we are up to 2030. By the time it's finished with the Russians on this arrangement, we would have been in power for 24 years. So, and the Mexico issue is a clear example. And even here in Nigeria, you get me? If, see, okay, even Atiku himself, now, I almost forgot. Atiku said Nigeria is going towards a one-party state. This same Atiku said Nigeria is going towards a one-party state. And that's under a 4-year tenure program. And now he's asking for 6 years to become a dynasty.
Well, the discourse continues, and I mean, it's always healthy when everybody can contribute their own views, no matter how divergent they are, and we can always take the best from each of those positions. Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.